When we get back on the window, then we saw, oh man, this is bad, so we have to go fast, and then the flashover came.
On August the 5th, 2008, a fire broke out in a 4-story apartment building in Old Town Antwerp. The fire had started in the kitchen of a restaurant on the ground floor and had quickly spread to the stairwell, taking the lives of 2 of the tenants.
So that night we were called for a fire in a 4-level building. When I arrived, there was a lot of smoke at the basement, at the ground floor, and we saw the flames coming out of the skylight in the roof.
The Antwerp Fire Services quickly began their operations and then started the evacuation process.
Tijdens de bluswerkzaamheden hebben we nog melding gekregen dat er een aantal vermisten waren. We zijn onmiddellijk op zoek gegaan naar die mensen, maar spijtig genoeg hebben we nog 2 overleden personen gevonden.
We saw some people standing at the window. We rescued them by the first ladder, and I ordered a second ladder to the scene to help with the search for the other people. There was told us that there were still 2 persons missing.
The fire was now under control, and 2 firefighters were sent to the 3rd and 4th floor to search for 2 other people who were still missing.
So me and my colleague, we went up. We went to the 3rd floor. There was a lot of furniture, but not so much smoke actually. And then we went searching for somebody, asking and calling their name or asking if somebody was there. Then we opened a door in the hallway and we saw, okay, the hallway was on fire. So we closed the door, we went straight back out. Then we go, okay, the fire was not yet on that floor. Then we went to the 4th floor. We went there and then, okay, there was a little bit smoke in there, but that place was empty. There was no furniture, so nobody was living there. So I told my colleague, okay, we have to get out of here because nobody's going to be here.
Without plausible explanation, heavy smoke developed on the 3rd floor. The firefighters working on the 4th floor were warned that something had gone wrong and needed to get out.
Just after they entered, the smoke at the 3rd floor was building up, with a clear indication that there could be a flashover. At that point, we ordered them out by using our radio system.
The moment that we want to get out, but we were inside the building, so we didn't saw the big smoke and we didn't realize. But then when we get back on the window, then we saw, oh man, this is bad, so we have to go fast, and then the flashover came.
Soon the basket was engulfed in flames as the fire gases on the 3rd floor exploded.
Because there was too much smoke, we didn't saw so much. We pushed the button, the red button, you know, and then everything stands still. And because then you go into an emergency situation, you know, the ladder doesn't work anymore. Then we pushed the button out. It was like 30 seconds, I believe, something, and the flames were underneath the basket.
That make us lose some seconds because they had to pull out the emergency stop at that moment and to restart the engine of the ladder truck, and then they could turn away. At that moment there was already a fire at the oil hoses of the ladder, and that stopped the ladder from functioning, and then they went down using the ladder itself.
Die vlammen zo onder met een vlek doorkomen. Dan waren ze nog aan het roepen. Ik denk dat we helemaal niet vooruit staan. Nou, dan hebben we dat weer geleerd tegen de toekomst. Dat het beter niet kunt doen.
Maar dat is goed materiaal, dat kan wel tegen niet tegen. Hè? Een beetje rent of zo. Nee, dat is goed materiaal. Gewoon nog wat verder helpen, denk ik.
The Antwerp Fire Services were taken by surprise when the flashover happened, because they thought the fire was under control. They never suspected there were gases accumulating on the third floor.
At that point we didn't realize that there was it's go so fast. So at that point we didn't realize that it was that bad. We didn't knew how, because there was already a lot of firemen were already in the building, so we thought everything is quite under control at that point. So we didn't realize it was that bad.
The crew from the second ladder, when they were on the third floor, they didn't see any smoke. It was only when they passed on to the fourth floor that the smoke was quite rapidly building up in the classical way, from light grey to brown, and then to thick black smoke, and then there was the ignition of the smoke.
Dirk van Schuren, a flashover instructor at the Antwerp Fire Training School, believes that the flashover may have been caused by the introduction of high-pressure fog from above. When the fire was attacked from the skylight window in the roof above the stairwell, it may have caused a pressure bubble and pushed the fire gases down to the third floor. Because of this, the natural flow of the fire gases may have been interrupted.
When you put water in it, you are going to stop that movement. So the spread of the hot smoke gases go in another way, so you can have other problems in other compartments.
I think that there could be some smoke passed through the ventilation shafts and the utility shafts that were in the building. Further on, it was an old building with wooden floors. So I assume that it wasn't quite smoke tight, and the smoke could pass through those kind of openings. Now the lessons learned is that at that point we never go in without an extinguishing means, so we need to use a supplementary hose. That means that at that point, when all the high pressure hoses are used, we need to get in a low pressure hose. The second thing is that we need to get more performant communication means to notify the people inside the building to get out at the critical moment. That's something we have learned from that fire.
The two firefighters working in the building were lucky that not only that they escaped the flashover, but also that they followed the regulations and used their full protective gear.
Dat is wel de eerste keer, we hebben al een paar goede bruintjes gehad, maar deze is wel de eerste keer dat zo nipt weer.
For the firemen, wearing your total equipment is essential when it goes wrong. When you have not the self-discipline to put all your gear on like it belongs, maybe one day you pay the price.
So that was a very important lesson, never go into a building without water. So that was yeah, I'm quite, and I always keeping my hose very steady, because now if I go in, normally I go in first with the chief, so we are in the front line, but I always keep my hose very steady, because I know that's my safe way out.